You're the only one here, and you live through reflections. Assume how you choose to be, and feel living connections. Your thoughts arise. What you think becomes the real. Look past the triggers and see the truth. Nothing is ever random. Revise the unpreferred. The heart and mind's in tandem. Let the inner voice be your maker. Sculpting wishes fulfilled. Assume who you wish to be. Shape yourself with your true. Refine the reflection.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wisdom Nexus. And again, I know last week we did not do a webcast, so here we are this week. Just letting you guys know that I'm going to be doing another webcast this Friday as well, too, to make up for that lost time. So we're going to have a second webcast this week. But again, I'm joined with my beautiful fiancée, Breanne. So, Breanne, how are things going with you?
Oh, they're going really well. I mean, I have to say that energies feel pretty intense lately.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of things have been coming up for, me personally. So I'm always curious to see how you guys are feeling. But yeah, it's going good. Some good times.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. So again, you guys can check out Breanne's website, okay, and I'll just put it up here as well, too, on the screen. So it's readingswithbreanne.com. It's currently going through a bit of a makeover as well, too, so there'll be a new version of it here coming up pretty quick. But again, Breanne does all kinds of readings, right? So she's doing tarot, she's doing crystal ball, she's doing feng shui, she's doing QHHT, she does it all. So again, feel free to check out her website. So again, that is readingswithbreanne.com. So today, we got a special treat for all of you, as we're going to be doing some personal and general questions together here today. So again, Breanne will be here to do the tarot, and we also have our second camera as well too, to zoom in on the cards when we get to that particular point. So again, guys, if you do have any personal or general questions, feel free to share. Like I said, you guys have been awesome the last couple of weeks. I remember a couple of weeks ago here when I was here, we just had so many donation-based questions. I had to spend the entire episode going through them, and I love that very much. So thank you again, guys, for showing the awesome support for the channel. It's really appreciated, and thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, if you're new here, welcome. Again, we have the YouTube Super Chat, so feel free to leave a personal question. Just remember, guys, it's just one question per donation, okay? And same with general topics, just one question only, okay? Because we're going to have a lot of people coming on here in a little bit. So let's start off with the webcast today. where we're going to be looking at, let me just go ahead and adjust my microphone a little bit here. There we go. It's going off a little bit into the red, so hope you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, we're using a bit of a different microphone today. Anyways, we're going to go to MLK Star Fashion. Now, MLK, you did 2 of these, so please just 1. I'll let you go with 2 this time, but please, guys, just 1 donation-based question, because we got to be fair to other people and let them in as well, too. But I'll do it this time, but MLK, that's just for the future, okay? So, hello, Brad. Could you help to heal my back, please? Pain is more on the left side. So, guys, here's the thing. I don't heal people, okay? So, here's the thing. I give your body charge, right? I'm just sending charge to your body, which means it's basically a subtle energy transmission. So as I give you a subtle energy transmission, your body will take that energy and then it will start to heal itself. Remember that the only healer that you ever have is your body. It's not somebody else. Somebody else is just giving you charge, okay? So yes, I will go ahead and send you charge for your back. As you said, it's more on your left side. So I'll just take a moment to do that now. I'm going to do what's known as just kind of a transmission, okay? And just going to send it to the left side of your back. So I'll just take a moment here, just as I tune into MLK here now, okay? So just going into your field, tuning into the left side of your back. So it's kind of almost like I'm in painting a streak just around the area of the left side, but we also want the right side as well too, okay? We may feel that there's some problems on the left side of the back, but that does not excuse the right side at the same time, okay? So I'm just in painting the left side, and I'm also in painting the right side as well too. So we're doing a full back rejuvenation, okay? So I'm gonna do that now, 1 moment. Okay. Okay, so charge energy has been sent to your back. Okay, so hope you feel better. Let's go to your second part here. Could you look at what's coming for love and my career? I wonder if I'm on the right path. I don't see any changes no matter the effort I do. So Breanne can start to look into that one. Looking for love and my career. So yeah, for looking for love and my career. That's great, because that's what Breanne specializes in. So again, she's the perfect fit for you here. So let's go into her second camera here, and we can look at her tarot from what she pulls up.
All right, so I'm just kind of curious about like the situation too, because we do have you putting in effort here. You're the 3 of Pentacles, right? So it's not that it's effort is the problem, but when you say you're continuing to do all these things, but no matter what the effort you do, it's not working out. And it's because, look, at a lot of it is like mental in the mind and the perspective as well, right? It's kind of like that, you know, situation where you can't keep telling or keep doing the same thing day in and day out and expect a miracle to happen. So what this is really showing is it's not about effort. Your effort's there. It's about alignment, and the advice is that Knight of Cups. So it's getting more in touch with your direction and where it is you want to move. You do have a new start happening here with the Fool on the back of the deck. So it's not that it's not possible. You just have to choose where you're directing your energy and your intentions, because right now you're kind of stuck in this loop with the 9 of Swords. So I guess my biggest advice is like, do something instead of trying to like feel into like all these stressful situations. Do something that actually excites you, that you want to do here, and see how that feels internally. Like consciously choose something that maybe lights you up, that's more in your direction, because right now you're kind of getting stuck in the pattern of doing the same thing day in and day out and expecting something else to change. But yes, you do have a new beginning, and this Fool is that 0 point, right? Think of it as that null point where there's limitless possibilities, okay? So it is coming, but you have to redirect yourself.
Excellent. Well, there you go. So MLK, I hope that helps you. Let's go ahead and move on to our next question. So again, guys, if you're just tuning in to the webcast today, like I said, we are doing personal and general questions, both Breanne and myself. Okay. So again, you can feel free to leave a donation in the super chat, and just with a single question. Now that question can be any insight that you want to look into through your life. It can also be a healing request, or as I say, a charge request. Okay, so that's always available to you. So again, check that out. Let's go to the next question here. This question here is from Chris. Chris says, what is the spiritual meaning of a birthmark? Well, a birthmark is often what's left over as residue from another lifetime. Okay, I actually have a friend of mine who actually showed me one of his quote-unquote birthmarks. And he actually had a very vivid memory of actually being impaled by a spear or some particular type of weapon. And it was left there as a particular type of mark. It's kind of like a reminder for this from the soul to you, right? And it can represent the idea of many different things. Sometimes it can represent love, sometimes it can represent hurt, sometimes it can represent pain, sometimes it can represent a path for you to take. But we're not really going to look at it just and think that we understand it just by looking at the mark itself, right? You have to tune in. You have to kind of go into your Akasha and take a look at it a little bit further. So Brie, looks like you had something with that too.
Yeah, I love what you said too. And it does show, like from my perspective, it can absolutely be like an imprint from a past life. I have my back full of beauty marks and moles. So it's kind of interesting, like with this, the Three of Wands is my portal energy, and this is about remembrance. So I think a lot of the times too, we could look at it as a form of, I don't want to say like a lesson, but something we could, like Brad said, tune into and see what we need to clear out in this life as well. So that's something that does come up here.
Okay, great. So thank you, Chris, for that question. Let's move on now to Octurus Light. Octurus Light says, hi, Brad, can you share your perspective on the current situation in the Middle East? Is this a counterforce action? What is the likely outcome? So that's one thing I forgot to get right away, was just a piece of paper, because I can look into the Akasha for this. I had a feeling that question would come up one point or the other, so when at some particular point. So let me go ahead and do a quick Akasha scan with the Middle East. I do have a good idea of what's going on, but let's take a look in regards to what the Akasha is saying here. It is a major cleanup. Now again, guys, I would say do not get too hung up with the mainstream media, or of course you guys know not to do that, right? Or even some of the alternate media as well too, because they will always try to tell you that, oh my God, it's World War III. It's not World War III, okay? This is not the Third World War. I would remind you exactly what happened between Russia and the Ukraine, okay? This is another version of that. This is between Israel, this is between Iran, and of course the United States is mixed in with it as well too. So basically what's happening is Israel would be the second nest compared to like what Ukraine represents. As I talked about in the past, that Ukraine represents a very heavy Khazarian mafia nest, okay, and that's why they were being cleaned out. The exact same thing is happening with Israel right now. Okay, even Iran has some of that as well too. So it's almost like they're cleaning each other out at the same time. We're basically looking at two very dirty adversaries. Okay, so Iran is no angel. Okay, Israel is no angel. And you could say that there's a mutual cleaning out from this. It goes back to what I've said, even going back years, is that, dog are going to eat dog. The corrupt are going to take down the corrupt. But what's happening right now is that a lot of what we're seeing here pertaining to a war is much more the distraction principle with it. What's actually happening a lot more is that there's a much more deeper cleaning in the subterranean relating to Israel as well as Iran. They're both getting cleaned out, right? No one is innocent here relating to those particular two countries. They're both getting cleaned out. The United States as well too. Nothing pertaining to the continental United States that I can see is going to be under any harm. But a lot of what they've been doing overseas could basically result in some cleanups at the same time. Okay, again, their hands are not clean either, right? They got some stained hands. Israel certainly has stained hands. Iran certainly has stained hands. So we're looking at the idea of all of those stains looking to get cleaned up. So just like Russia and Ukraine had their own bout, this is exactly what's happening here, is that Israel and Iran are also having their own bout, and there is a mutual cleaning going on. It is the complete and total demolition of the Khazarian mafia through these areas. Okay, Breanne, did you have some statements?
I mean, I think you pretty much hit it there. And we also have, like I said, the tower too. And one thing that I was going to say that you did also bring up too was when you look at the media and the news, that they make it sound so crazy, and they just really play into that fear and the division. And a lot of that too is showing up here. It is a distraction, but my actual outcome is our sovereignty. It's the Nine of Pentacles. So it does look like this is a big cleanup, and it's it's something that's, you know, needs to happen in order for us to turn over into a new leaf. But we do have a beautiful sovereign energy coming out with Mother Earth too in the situation. So.
But again, it's March, and March represents those intensities, right? And March is like the flame, okay? And it's as I said, guys, 2026 is the year of the fire horse. You know, you've heard me say that so many times, and I said, guys, this is not a rainbows and sunshine year, okay? This is a year of volatility. This is a year of revolution. This is a year of severe cleanup. It's kind of like if you're in your house and you know you got these really bad stains in your carpet, you're bringing out the heavy artillery to get those stains out of the carpet, right? You've tried your other stuff. You've tried to do a lot of basic cleaning, tried the vacuum cleaner, you've tried to do all those things.
Ripping the carpet out.
Exactly. Now it says, no, I got this huge, gigantic stain remover, and I'm going to take out these horrible stains on these carpets once and for all. Well, that is exactly what's happening here with these countries. These countries are gigantic stains. They have gigantic stains upon them. And the country itself, there's no problem with that. It's the stain that's on their carpet, right? That is exactly what's being expunged. That's what's being cleared out. We are getting the filth out. And for goodness sakes, even people, when Russia and Ukraine was happening very intensely, people thought that was the Third World War, right? So again, with just all these particular things that happen, you're going to have these groups that are going to get in scuffles. So again, it's localized, it's isolated in many different ways, okay? It's not the idea of thinking, oh my God, you know, US is going to get invaded or they're going to get droned. No, it's not going to happen, okay? It's much more in the idea that this is containment, and that containment is happening, and there will be certain places around the world. There's going to be more. There's going to be some other places as well, too, that are going to get, you know, the fire lit under them, and again, more stains to be removed, and that's kind of what I'm saying in code here. Because we're on censorship here on YouTube, but basically a lot of stains to get removed from the carpets, if you catch my drift. Okay, so we're looking at something that represents a very large cleanup, and like I said, it's just another situation very similar to the Russia and Ukraine altercation. So this is the Iran, Israel, and partly U.S. altercation that's taking place, but it needs to happen because this is cleaning out the stains. Okay.
Yep. Tower moment, guys.
All right, great. So let's go ahead and move on here. Thank you, October Slate, for that. So again, you're asking if it's counterforce. Yes, of course. Everything relating to these things is counterforces. But it's not what you're seeing on the surface. What you're seeing on the surface is for the theater, right? That's political theater. That's dramatic theater. What's happening truly behind the scenes is not being televised, okay? And that is a complete and total cleanup. Like I said, we could probably see the rescue of more children. We could probably see a lot of trafficking rings being exposed and terminated. We could see a lot of drug cartels being taken out. Look what's happening with Mexico right now, okay? With all these drug lords being taken down. That is not an accident, okay? That's counterforces in action. So whenever you're seeing these things, you want to kind of look past the surface. And like I said, we got that heavy stain guard. So that heavy stain guard is going way past the surface, going deeply into the grain, and starting to clean out a lot of this horrible, disgusting stuff that's been happening on this planet for a very long time. Okay, so thank you for your question, October Slate. Okay, let's go on to Eve Mills. Eve Mills says B&B, so I'll probably let Bree take care of this one first. Could you please look into the meningitis outbreak in UK? Origins and outcomes, please. Okay, so there's a meningitis outbreak, apparently, in the UK. I have not heard of that. So. But again, I don't follow the news that much these days, so I'm busy with other stuff. So, okay, well, let Bree take care of it first, and I'll follow up afterwards.
All right. So, I mean, I seen a little bit, I seen that comment, and I've seen a lot of people talking about some crazy stuff happening over there in the UK with the meningitis outbreaks. And I mean, I don't know how much we can say on here with certain things, but, you know, look at the whole, there's so many big perspectives of, like, again, trying to, I want to say, not distract, what's the word I'm looking for, kind of like
control.
Control, but also disconnect humans, right? And when we look at meningitis, it's not airborne, right? It's about being close, it's about kissing, it's about being intimate. And they're trying to also fracture that, because they're trying to fracture the connection between each and every one of us. So I don't know, maybe they're going to try to push some jabs and some pokies or some prescriptions, etc., right? But it feels like this is just another play out of the playbook, trying to again put fear into the people so they're distracted, they're not tuning into their heart. I mean, it's kind of the same old from my perspective. So, you know, you guys just tune into your heart, from moving forward. But for me, this feels like, again, another distraction to distract people.
See now why she's my fiance, right? We get into common agreement with all these things. Like even when I'm saying stuff, Breanne will concur. Breanne says stuff, I will concur. So again, she's on the right track, right? So yes, and that's basically what I was feeling as well too. But let's take a look here as well too as I look into the Akasha with the UK and meningitis. Okay, isn't it interesting that, a lot of people were basically ready to take Stalmer and just throw him out on his ass, right? And people were just getting sick and tired of him because of the digital ID. Well, now we're starting to see meningitis ideas coming together and again saying, well, if you want to try and get that particular type of injection, you need a digital ID, right? So this is how they play with their playbook. They will play with their playbook and say, well, we need an agenda. They're not willing to do it willingly. Okay, let's create an outbreak. Let's create a meningitis outbreak. The kissing disease, right? And that, again, is very true because they'll try to separate you. Look what they did with COVID. You couldn't go within 6 feet of each other, right? You always had to be 6 feet apart. So again, that's trying to tell you no physical contact, right? No connection in that sense. No hugging, no holding hands, none of that stuff, right? This is all stupidness. But it's all part of an agenda. You basically have to see this, my friends. You're looking at a boardroom. Okay, and you're seeing all of these particular leaders and so-called experts and saying, well, we're trying to push out the digital IDs, but people aren't taking it. They're being too rebellious. Okay, well then we're going to create an outbreak. We're going to create another virus outbreak with meningitis, and that there's a meningitis outbreak. And in order for people to get inoculated, they need to have their digital IDs. That's a brilliant idea. Let's do that. There you go, guys. That's what's happening. You're getting a bunch of yahoos in the middle of a boardroom, a bunch of fakes, a bunch of phonies, and they're basically trying to engineer this idea of a virus outbreak. Guys, there is no such thing as a virus outbreak because viruses aren't external. They are internal. Okay? When a virus actually comes into you, it needs to be injected. It needs to be an aerosol. Okay? Every doctor should know this. That you don't just get, oh my God, somebody coughed, and then I walk into it, and I'm going to get sick. No. It needs to be an aerosol. It needs to be an injection. It needs to be something that's actually put inside the body. Because everything that relates to viruses, bacteria, and fungus are what's known as microzymas. Okay? Microzymas are microorganisms within the tissue of your own body. When your body moves into a much more high acidic and inflamed environment, those microzymas will start to transmute themselves into bacteria, into viruses, and into fungus to try to adapt to the environment as it exists. Which means viruses, bacteria, and fungus is an internal process. It's what your body does to adapt to very harsh environments within your body that are moving through states of erosion. Now we have scientists going back to the 1800s who already knew this. And the people that are peddling a bunch of this crap today of thinking that if you need to be 6 feet apart from people and trying to give you this impression of thinking that viruses travel that way were basically ridiculed back in the 1800s. And you know which guy was really ridiculed back in the 1800s because of his stupidness? Louis Pasteur. Because he was into the idea of thinking, oh, you need to, germs everywhere, there's germ theory, there's germs all over the place. And you had other reputable scientists saying that he was full of shit. And you had many of them backing it up as well, too. And when you look under a microscope and you see this, even Royal Rife was able to discover this, the founder of the Rife machine. He was able to discover this as well, too. It's not about germs, it's about terrain. Right? Guys, please do your research. I'm sure quite a few of you are already aware of this because I've talked about it, and I'm sure in your research you've discovered this about this as well too. There is no such thing as germ theory. That is utter bunk. So there is no such thing of getting a virus outside of you unless it is an aerosol or unless it is injected into you. It has to come into you, right? It has to be injected. It needs to be injected or sprayed or anything of that nature. It has to enter you. Okay? But for a person who's just doing this, and then you're like running 20 yards behind that person because you think you're getting sick, that's stupidness. Okay? But the only reason why that happens is because that's programming. We've been programmed in thinking that, okay, a person is doing this, a very light cough, and then we sprint 20 yards down the field like a linebacker, Okay, that's what's going to cause just more and more of this paranoia. Okay, so this is exactly what the UK is trying to do with Keir Starmer, trying to save face. Hey, maybe I'll try and make myself look out to be a good guy here, and say, oh guys, there's a virus outbreak, so you have to get a digital ID in order for you to take care of this, and then we'll give you inoculation. See, it's a bunch of garbage. Don't fall for it. You guys know better than that, right? Especially if you've been watching this channel for quite some time. So.
And I do think this is going to actually go past the UK. It looks like this is something they're going to try to push in multiple places.
Yeah, but it's going to fall.
Yeah,
you cannot repeat COVID-19. Right?
But I think they'll
So they will try to do it. Like they'll probably do it around Europe. Europe
Yeah.
will try to get a lot of those things, but people will know better. So no, forget it. We're not going through COVID part 2 again because that was a bunch of crap, and this is a bunch of cap. We're not doing that, just another scam-demic again, right? So there you go. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Thank you, Eve, for your question. Let's go on to Caustic Main. Caustic Main 5002. A reading to find the pebble in my shoe. I'm good at all, but I do, but my parents are unfocused. I almost never finish what I start. Feel I don't trust myself with success, so I go down narrow paths where it is a surprise instead. Well, the whole idea is that don't rely on other people for your own sanctity. Don't rely on other people to feel exactly how your life needs to turn out, right? So again, the whole idea is it's okay to slip up. It's okay to fall down. It's okay to trip over your own feet. It's okay to get dirty. But the difference is that you're able to pick yourself up and brush yourself off and keep going, okay? So the key here, let me just go ahead and switch back to the main camera. The key here is being able to work together with yourself and looking into yourself. And like I said, guys, my solution is very simple, okay? If you've tuned into my channel, you know what I'm about to say. You go into the substrata, okay? You go into the alpha. You go into the theta. Brad, how do I do that? We do that with 3 exercises. We look up. We do Shambhavi Mudra. If you don't want to do Shambhavi Mudra, you take a little piece of paper, you put a dot on it, you tape it to your wall, and you stare at this for about 1 to 2 minutes, just a simple dot on the wall, okay? Or just put it on a piece of paper, tape it against the wall, look at it for about 1 to 2 minutes. Try not to blink, okay? That is immediately putting you into the alpha state, okay? And then we start doing something like Rachaka, okay? Rachaka Pranayama, breathing in for 4, breathing out for 8. Make sure your spine is nice and straight. Make sure your belly is tucked in just a little bit. That's what we call Uddiyana Bandha, okay? Make sure your hands are facing up, facing outward and facing up, okay? And then you just start doing the breath. You start doing Rachaka. I would say do it as many repetitions as you can. Sometimes people can get it within 10 repetitions. Some people can do it with 15 or 20. Some people may take longer, but I would say just keep doing it and just observe your body. Are you tensing up your shoulders while you're breathing? Let them go. Are you tensing up your buttocks? Let them go. Are you tensing up your legs? Let them go, right? Let any tension escape you. Keep the form where you're just sitting and your spine is straight, but there should be no other tension within your body. You're just keeping an erect spine and you're letting everything else detensify itself. The only thing that's a little bit tense is your abdomen because you're working with Uddiyana Bandha. Now, why are we doing Uddiyana Bandha? Because that brings the prana to your chest. When your the prana goes into your chest, that helps with your vitality. That helps with your immune system. That boosts you up, right? And everything's being centralized much more into the chest region. So that has very strong health benefits for you at the same time, okay? But you're doing Rachaka Pranayama. Do it as many times as you feel till you start feeling that light buzzing sensation, okay? Thirdly, you go into the 25-second countdown, right? Just mentally chant from 25 to 1. With each second that you pass, you start to feel more relaxed, okay? And then when you're in that state of receptivity of the alpha theta, of the substrata, now you pull up a problem, okay? Imagine a large amount of slates on your wall, okay? And one slate represents, here's my problem with my parents. Here's what my parents have done. Here's how my parents have abused me. Here's how my parents have talked down to me. It's like I'm taking that slate off the wall and I'm putting it into a ball, okay? Now there's 2 things that you do, and I'm going to be doing a video about this, okay? There's 2 videos two exercises that we do that would be made into a video because it's a part of trauma transcendence technique. Number 1, you contract the problem, okay? Number 2, you take the opposite of that problem and you expand it. So number 1, You contract the problem into complete and total non-existence, which means you don't care about it anymore. So with those particular judgmental parents, as far as their judgment goes, I don't care about them. Okay? I don't care about their judgments. Now, I'm not saying I don't care because I'm numb. I don't care simply because that problem, that electricity that was originally setting me off isn't there anymore. It's gone. It's been contracted, right? So I'm putting that dirty slate into a ball. I feel the thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions relating to that entire situation. I'm just making that invisible ball an appropriate size in my hands. And I'm just asking myself, am I ready to let this go? Yes. Good. Now let's just start mentally Om chanting in our mind. If you want to do it out loud, you can do it out loud. But I'd suggest mentally doing it, okay? Because subtlety is power. So we are Om, 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 chanting until both of our hands meet. Once both of our hands meet, that is telling you the ball is dissolved. Now we got to go into part 2, which is going inside and saying, does this problem still exist within me? Okay, and then I check. So yeah, there's still a little bit in my heart. Okay, so I just reform the ball again, just in regards to the amount of intensity that's there. And I do the same thing. I ask myself the question, can I let this go? Yes. Then proceed. Om, and we do it again. And the hands meet once more, and the ball is dissolved. Now I check in again. Am I clear of this problem? Does this problem still exist? No, it's completely gone. Okay, it's exactly what I did with a woman yesterday, right? She had a very strong issue within her, and just helped her to clear this by contracting the ball. Okay, so let's just say that that situation with your parents is now fully and totally remedied. But that does not really, that's not finishing the job, so to speak, okay? What we've done is we've taken that slate off the wall, and now there's an empty slot. Okay, so we feel at peace with that situation. It's not bothering us anymore. But we want to do a type of reinforcement as the second part. And this is where Vafa comes in. Okay, and Vafa is being kind of an extension here with the ball. Okay, so what I want to look at here, connect your encoder, go live. Hang on, let me just, oh, okay, there you go. I had a little cutout there for a second. So what I want to do here is put in a intention of something that is the opposite, which means rather than seeing that my parents are abusers and hurters, I'm now going to start going into my imagination. And can I imagine myself that my parents are actually in harmony? That they're loving, they're compassionate, they're joyful, they're peaceful. This is what I had to do with my father, right? My father was an extremely abusive person, okay? And I had to basically see that as if I'm holding hands with him and the entire family. And I can tell you it worked, okay? Because when I did that, shortly after, my family started talking to me again, because after I left and pursued this path, the family was outraged with me, right? And then as I started doing this work and started healing the family line, just like what I'm teaching you guys right now, the family started to come back into the picture. It wasn't right away, but it did happen over time, okay? So then, again, I'm just putting that into a ball, and I'm seeing my family, my mom, my dad, completely loving and compassionate. Maybe I'm holding hands with them. Maybe I'm giving them a hug. Maybe they're in my front room and I'm just feeling love, compassion, joy, happiness, companionship, fellowship. It feels good. I can feel it. I can feel that love. I can feel that warmth. There's no battles anymore. There's no more fights because I am the instigator of those things. And I expand it out and expand it out and expand it out until I feel it's 100% real. So I'm doing the Vafa. I'm visualizing. I'm affirming the love, the compassion. I'm feeling that warmth. I'm familiarizing myself with that warmth. And I'm aligning myself with that warmth as I expand the ball. And now I feel that it's 100% real. And then I can just let the ball go. It fades into the ether. And what I take out of that ball is a golden key. That golden key is the feeling itself. It's the familiarity. It's the alignment of the feeling. That's the most important thing in manifestation, my friends, is number one, you see it as already happened. Number two, you take the feeling that you get out of something that's already happened and you hold on to it. And that's the feeling that you hold on to. And this is what I did for many days, many weeks, specifically when healing the family, is every time I thought of them, I had that warm feeling in my heart. So we're unified. We're completely in harmony. That's it. How long did that take me? 0.5 seconds. Okay? And so anytime family comes up, I go back to that warm feeling. Now that I go back into that warm feeling, the focus enables my reality to shift. It's like a Rubik's Cube. Okay? The Rubik's Cube now shifts because I've gone into a greater state of focus. And that state of focus is that consciousness cannot tell the difference between what you focus in physical reality or what you focus in imagination. Focus is focus. Okay? So if you stay in your imagination and you're focusing on that, guess what's happening? The malleability of reality will shape itself around your focus. Don't you guys remember that your focus determines your reality? That's 100% correct, right? So caustic main, 5002, that's what I'm sharing here. If you don't trust yourself, the reason why is because that's not you talking. If I don't trust myself, I'm stained by an argument. I'm stained by a fight. I'm stained by how somebody else criticized me, who thinks that I can't do anything, and I started believing it. Well, who else are you going to trust in your reality to do things for you? Is it your mom and your dad? Is it your boss? Is it your best friend? Is it your brother? Is it your sister? Is it your kids? Is it your partner? None of them can do that. You're the only one here. You're the only creator there is. So if you don't trust yourself, who the hell else are you going to trust? Right? It comes down to yourself. So the only reason we don't trust ourselves, and guys, I used to have that too. I used to not trust myself as well, because I would see how people would barrage me and thinking that I'm feeble, I'm incapable, I'm not able to do any of this stuff. Do I still feel that, Brad, you can't trust yourself? Not one bit. I trust myself 100%. Right? I can look you right in the eye and you can hook me up to a lie detector if you want to. So, Brad, do you trust yourself 100%? Indubitably. Okay? So, how did that happen? Well, I cleared away all the stains that told me I can't trust myself. Why? Because somebody else told me that I shouldn't. Somebody else wanted me to trust them instead. Why the hell would I trust a stranger? Right? Even if it's a family, it's almost like trusting a stranger. You got to clear that out. There is no such thing as the mistrust of yourself. The mistrust of yourself is nothing more than a mirage, an illusion, a barrier of what somebody else told you about how you think you are. And that's wrong. And we got to clear that out. Okay? So this is the key. So that's what I would suggest. Caustic Main 5002. Work on that. TTT, okay? Substrata, and the VAFA. That will help you out. All right, you take care. Thank you. All right, let's go on a little bit further here. There's a big question, I know, and a big answer. So let's go to a believer, 7029. Will my son be successful in his application to be an airline pilot? Okay, so Breanne will take this one about if their son will be successful in his application to be an airline pilot. I'm just going to grab some more water.
Yeah, I have some really solid energy with this, my friends. So I do think that he has absolutely the capability to work through this, or maybe a little bit of a heavy load, or there's that fear with that Nine of Swords. But again, that's just a mental fear, okay? We do have a lot of passions, a lot of inspirations for him to move forward and be a pilot. And this does show a big yes. I do see him being able to get through this. We do have that page energy though. So it is about getting to get familiar, getting comfortable. So it's going to take a little bit of time here, but I don't see how there's no reason why he can't move forward and be successful at this career. It looks like he has all the potential in the world. So it's just about clearing out. I mean, as Brad said, I'm kind of like shifting for a moment because I think there was a bit of an adjustment from the last question. We were linking it, Brad was linking it to his parents instead of projects. So I know that was a change, but you can take that system, everything Brad just said, and use that for anything, okay, guys? So to kind of come back to your question here, yes, I do think that he has the potential to be successful with this, okay?
Great. Excellent. Thank you for your question. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, this one here is from Rins Casalverda. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm not seeing a question with you though, so let me just double check here. I look around the areas to see if there's a question around, but I'm not seeing a question here for Rinske Salvador. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce her name, but I don't see a question here, so maybe I'll come back to you if I see something. Let's go on. Okay, this one here is from Hidden Reality 1. Can you please do numerology for my daughter, May 7, 2002? She isn't interested in working toward her goals. Biology degree, she doesn't value money. Okay.
She's a 7. She's a big 7.
Okay, you've already done that then, right?
I was just looking at that.
So yeah, if we look at a 5, a 7, a 2002, okay. So yeah, so she has a 7 immediately right in her reaction, okay. She doesn't care about that. You can't do anything about that, Hidden Reality. Not up to you, okay. She doesn't care. And the reason why she doesn't care is because 7s are much more introspective, okay. They want to look much more at the deeper questions. Now, it's not to say biology doesn't have a state with her, but it's more that she may have another interest. Rather, what I would suggest you do is you encourage where she wants to take herself. Don't be a dominant figure, a feeling that you're going to say, nope, she's not, she needs to do biology, she needs to do this. No, that's her choice, not yours, right? It's your daughter's choice to decide exactly where she wants to go. Now, she also has a 5 in her environment, which means she doesn't want to follow the rules. Do you know what she's going to say to you? Screw you, I'll do whatever the heck I want. Why do I say that? Because there's a 5 right in her month. That's just how she's going to be. That's her attitude. If you try to tie her down, she will break the shackles. Okay? She is independent. She is strong. She is going to follow her own path. Okay? So we have May here, which represents the 5. We have the reaction day, which is the 7. She is introspective. She's interested in something else. Okay? So again, she isn't interested in working toward her goals. Sure she is. She's interested in working towards her goals. Just her goals are not your goals. Okay? She doesn't value money. Great. Don't have to. Okay? So she can do whatever she feels is right. Maybe she wants to volunteer somewhere. Maybe she wants to help a community in that sense. Guys, the almighty dollar is not how you're always supposed to live, okay? There are people who are able to get through the world without having one single penny in their pocket, okay? They are able to do that. If they don't value money and if they have the ability to look at exchange in different ways, they can get by. Now, if they have an opposition to money, then that's when we want to help them out in that way, right? We're not saying not to use money, right? Or feeling that you need to cast it out. But if you're deciding not to use money, you're comfortable with not using it. If you're seeing it as an adversary, and maybe that's what you're concerned about, is saying, well, she just doesn't value money, right? Now, basically, I would say, well, is she hurt by money? Or is she just ready to do other things that don't involve it, okay? If it's the latter, then she'll be fine. If it's the former, then she just needs to learn to harmonize with it, right? Money is not some evil thing, and that's the thing. It's the person behind the money that can generate the idea of its outcome, its orientation, its polarity, okay? But as a 5 and a 7 here, these are rebellious numbers, okay? She is going to be on her own. She is going to do what she wants, and she will have goals. Absolutely. Everybody is going to have a goal on this planet. Otherwise, why are you here, okay? So what I would suggest is maybe you sit down and you talk to her and you ask her, okay, well, if biology isn't what you want to do, what is it, right? What is it that I can do to help you achieve what you want to do? And maybe she'll sit down with you and she'll talk. And that shows that there's much more of a deeper caring, right? I know if I had any of my kids saying, oh, Brad, I don't want to follow your, Dad, I don't want to follow your footsteps. I want to do my own thing. So, okay, that's cool. Let's sit down. What do you want to talk about? Right? And then we talk and I say, okay, I'll do what I can to support you in the best way that I can. I will never ever feel like, oh, okay, well, you're supposed to go for this degree and you're not doing it. What's the matter with you? No. Okay, that's got to go because that's only just representing a taintedness here. That's another stain in the carpet. Okay. Now that she is a 2002, that represents a 4. Okay, so we have 5, 7, and a 4, which means that her maturity is going to bring her into greater structure. Okay, she is going to learn to organize, but it's going to come into the later times of her life. Right now, she's maybe about 24 years old. Maybe she's going to be 24, approximately around there, 23, 24. So again, she's very young. So she's going to take some time because that is your karmic maturity. Your year is your karmic maturity. So again, when we look at 2002 here, and there's 2 2s as well too. So the 2 and the 2 make up the 4. So again, she has a very compassionate heart. She wants to help other people. She is heart-centered. She wants to be with other people. She wants to put other people first. Okay, and that's her energy. But as she gets older, she'll move much more into the 4 vibration. So with 5 and 7, that's 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. So 1 and 6, she is a 7 life path. She's got a double 7 there. Okay, she doesn't want college. She doesn't want university. She wants to just explore the world. She wants to go into depths. She may go into a much more deeper spiritual journey. Okay,
Yeah.
encourage that. That maybe she wants to become a yogini. Okay, encourage it. That's her path. You can't fight it. Don't care how many boxing gloves you try to put on. You're not going to be able to fight what she's here to do. And what I can tell her from her numerology, she is going to be a very, very powerful mystic. Okay? And she has that mysticism to her. And she's very much following a spiritual path. And I don't think she cares too much about biology. So that's okay. You have to be okay with that. Okay? This is her life. She makes the choices, not you. Doesn't matter if you're her parent. Okay? A parent is a guide, not an enforcer. So let's remember that. I'm a parent myself. I can tell you that. All right?
And
Okay.
also going into this year is a 22 year, so a 4 year for her again. So personal year on top of that. But I got a big confirmation, like the mystic energy coming out
Yeah,
very
because
strong.
if she's got that double 7 plus a 5 as
Yeah.
well too. But the 4 is going to help her to mature. She's going to organize herself as she gets older.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your question. Let's go ahead and move on. This one here is from Eagleans 6382. What is the best avenue for me to make extra money off my art? It seems like I'm going around in circles getting nowhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this first, and then Breanne can follow up. Okay, so looking at your art. Okay, I do feel like you have the ability to make it successful, but I think you're not going about it the right way, which means you want to really pound the pavement and get leads. Okay, so you want to get leads for your art, which means that you're talking to people, you're showing them in many different ways, right? I would say maybe show low qualities of your work or just samples of your work in that way. It's like you're creating a virtual art gallery, okay? But you're going out there and you're getting leads of people. Do you know that there's people out there that will spend up to like $100,000 for really precious art, okay? You need to get your hands on those people. So what you need to do is work with lead generation. Okay, so there's certain artists that will go towards lead generation, where they will get a lot of these leads, and they will actually get these people who are almost kind of like art buffs, and they will want to look at your art, and if they feel something, they'll make you a heck of an offer. Which means number 1, you should be charging a lot more for your art than you are. And number 2, get involved with lead generation and talk to these big time people who will spend $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 on art. And that comes through lead generation, right? So basically you can find websites that help you with lead generation for art. Okay, so looking at art, like fine art or art, depends on the type of art that you're doing. If it's pottery, if it's clay, if it's paintings, right? Whatever it may be, get leads. Okay, and as you get leads, then you're going to start meeting with these high rollers who will be happy to pay you a lot of money for your art because they are out there and they're in the many thousands. Okay, you can find them. Get lead generation. That would be the key. Okay, Breanne, anything?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think like with that, I really like what you said because I do think that you're extremely talented. I think you can actually make this very successful, but it feels like you're kind of playing it small over here. And I feel like you need to put more value behind what it is. So if you need to bump up the amount that you're selling your pieces for, maybe you really need to get out there worldwide. So I've seen a lot of I don't know if you're already doing this, but even on social media, using and utilizing all the platforms, because I've seen some incredible artists doing incredible things and they sell out their art artwork all the time as well. So I do think that that is a strong probability to just keep pushing and get yourself out there, like play a bit bigger with that.
Yeah, like I said, social media is good, but like I said, you want to get lead generation, right? You want to get into leads. So you're talking to maybe other artists. You're talking to people who are very fond of art and will pay a lot of money for that. So what you're doing is you're going with these particular softwares, okay? There's a software that I'm using right now for one of my projects that does lead generation. I actually built my own lead generation software as well too for it. And that does a wonderful job. But it's just going out to some of these particular types of softwares. You could try hunter.io, okay? You could also try SNOV, snov.io, okay? Snov.io and hunter.io, okay? Try those. Those are lead generation softwares, and see what you get out of art, right? About people who are art sellers, people in that sense who are, I'm not sure what you call it, the art connoisseur in that way. See if you can make some leads with that, and then just start sharing with emails. Hey guys, I heard that you're interested in some of the fine art. Here's some of my art that I'm happy to show you. It's in low res, it's a sample of it. And if you want to talk more, we can arrange things. Perfect, you're getting lead generation, right? Social media is good, but it's not great. Okay, it's lead generation that's going to give you a lot more promise with that. And I can tell you that firsthand, right? You want to work with lead generation. Because lead generation, you're making much more personal contact with a lot of people, okay? Don't be spam them like crazy. Be very respectable and courteous, but you can get a lot of benefits out of lead generation.
Yeah, exactly. And with that nine of Pentacles, it's like getting that reach with people who are, you know, more versed and just very connected to having unlimited funds to spend on your artwork as well. And I feel like coming forward here with offers to purchase some of your artwork here for sure. I like it.
Excellent. That sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay. So this one here, and that's for everybody who is an artist as well too, by the way, okay? All of you can do that. This is for Commander Joy, 4927. Do I have a destiny working with Inner Earth? Would like contact for projects as a bridge between Inner Earth and humanity. I resonate with Tuatha de Danson, Fey beings. I go to Central Mexico often. Okay, so I'm very happy that you're excited, Commander Joy, okay? Here's the thing. And this is exactly what Athena says. Don't call us, we'll call you. Okay? And I'm not saying that in any way that you can't make contact. This is I'll tell you guys my story. Exactly how I made contact with the Delphi. You guys want to hear it? I'll hear it. Yeah, okay, Brad, tell me. All right, great. I'll just assume that you do. All I did was back in 2017, I was living in Victoria, I was living in a townhouse. Now I had a very big copper framed pyramid in my house, and one day I just felt the impulse to go into the copper pyramid and then just meditate. Right? It was just guys. It wasn't because of the copper pyramid that I made this contact. Okay, that's more of a formality, right? But I went into the copper pyramid. I just sat down. I sat straight, and I just went in, and I just asked a question, and I said, besides Adronis, is there any other particular type of contact on Earth or beyond that would like to connect with me? And within a matter of minutes, I saw this face with absolute clear precision, clear vividness, and it was Nefertitis, okay? And that was the pale albino Delphi who came in first. But he wasn't smiling. He was kind of like this, right? Just kind of like a somber face. And I could see him. He wasn't smiling, right? It's almost like someone's like nudging him and say, talk to him, talk to him, talk to him. Oh, shit. All right, fine. And so he came in, right? So he shared himself, but he had the most somber face, the somber expression. I could see him. There's just no more different than if I'm looking at another person's face right now. I could see every single detail of him. He had long hair down to about here, down to about his eyes. He had kind of a white beard. His eyes were completely pale red, right? Pale red eyes, very whitish skin, creamy white, okay? And the hair, very whitish, okay? Just like an albino. Okay, and he came in, and then he referred to himself as I started talking to him through empathic interface, and not through channeling, but empathic interface. And I said, is there a name I can call you? And he immediately said, Nefertitis. Okay? And so I tried to ask him these things, and it just kind of felt like he was hesitant in talking about certain things. He answered some things just about his people and all that, but he really didn't want to go too deep. In his mind, he still saw me as an outsider, right? and they're not used to connecting with outsiders, right? The Delphi are very xenophobic. Okay, they don't really want to bring outsiders in, but that's changed. Certain consensus of them now start to do that a bit more. When I've been talking to Athena, this is what he basically said. He says, I'm going to let my sister take over these transmissions, right? And then I saw Athena, and she's a beautiful woman. She's like, again, has that albino complexion. Like I said, I give her a rendering, but that's how I connected with her, okay? And Athena was way more open. Way more sweet, just very expanded mind, very sweet, very loving, okay? So how this happened to me was that I just put out a call. That's it. That's all I did. When Adronis originally came to me, he had to go through another channeler to connect with me, to have that channeler tell me, hey, there's a being here from Sirius that you need to be in contact with, Brad. They're like knocking on my door and say, get Brad to contact us, okay? Because he's not reaching. Because I was connecting with other different forms of consciousnesses at the time, and I wasn't focusing on Sirius. And then it says, focus back here because we have a contact here. And that's how Adronis came to me. Adronis called me, okay? So I put out an intention, and then Nefertitis called me, right? And then through Nefertitis, then Athena came in the picture afterwards, okay? So I don't even talk to Nefertitis anymore. He's like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. He doesn't want to talk to humans, okay? That's just how he is. He's not a bad guy. He's very stuck in his beliefs, right? That's how it is. But I've had a really great time connecting with Athena. Now, going back to your question, is that do I have a destiny working with Inner Earth? No, okay? But that's not to say that you can't build one, okay? So again, I know a lot of people like to use the destiny line. I think it's my destiny to do this. I'm sorry, guys, but it's not, okay? You have to build something up. You have to build a foundation, okay? It's not just that a foundation is being built for you, and then you go and you inhabit that structure, okay? If you want a destiny to go ahead and bring forward the connection to the inner earth, you need to make contacts. But again, if you're putting yourself out there, they have to call you, right? It's kind of like an interview, right? You go in for an interview, you hand your resume, thank you for your time, don't call us, we'll call you. That's really how it works. Now, you may have some particular beings that connect, okay? But you need to go into those deeper states. This is why I say, guys, it's the substrata, right? So again, I don't refer to myself as saying, oh, Brad has a destiny, and Brad's in a destiny to bring with the inner earth. No, guys, I'm not even going to go down there. Okay, and this is just something that I'm happy to share and convey as a messenger. I have no interest in going. I have no interest whatsoever in going to the inner earth. Right? I've already seen the Delphi, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, but I have no interest in it whatsoever. I'm a surface guy, and that's where I'll be staying. So again, it's not about me thinking that this is a destiny. This is just something it's an opportunity. Okay, so Commander Joy, what I'm telling you is this is an opportunity, not a destiny. Okay, so it's an opportunity to just go within, go into the substrata, and just put your intentions out there. Any loving beings that would like to connect with my energy right now, please feel free to share. I'm here. Okay, and then just let them call you. And that's all you got to do. You don't have to do anything else. But when you feel those contacts, take them seriously, right? Don't think that they're a joke. Don't think that you're just imagining this is fiction. Guys, imagination is not fiction. Imagination is what shapes your reality. Okay? So please remember that about working with imagination the right way. Honey, did you have something to say?
I was gonna say I love what you said, because the Knight of Cups flew out when you guys were talking, and that is putting out that call, putting out that heart-centered energy. And I think that you do have connections, because I do have that 10 of Pentacles. So there is that probability, but as Brad said, you have to build that foundation.
Yeah. So
and
it's
allow
not destiny,
that
it's
come
opportunity,
forward.
right?
Yeah.
You got to have opportunity. And I know a lot of people want to get behind the destiny thing, right? We see that in movies. It's your destiny to do this, Luke Skywalker, right? And you have to use the Force, and you have to defeat the bad guys, and that's your destiny and all that stuff like that. But that's not what destiny is. Destiny is the outlook of what you've already done, right? And it has a momentum of things ahead, but you can't look at destiny as if it's some finite concrete brick and thinking that that is exactly what you're here to do. I'm sorry, guys, but that's not the truth, and that's not the case. Everything in this world is open-ended. There are milestones that you are going to achieve, but it's not about thinking that something is carved in stone and that that's what you have to experience. We get that from fantasies. We get that from fiction, because that's not the key. Your destiny is a momentum carrier. It carries that. And what is destiny truly made out of? Opportunities. And this is why I say, guys, it's about opportunities, not destiny. Destiny is a real thing, but it's the idea of working with momentum rather than thinking that something is completely hard-edged and carved into rock for you, okay? Because it's not, and I can tell you that from experience.
And the cups is all about water, so it's letting that
emotions.
water flow.
Yeah, it's the emotional state, right? So if your emotions are connected to those opportunities, go for it, right? I'm not saying you can't connect to the Delphi or whatever. You certainly can, but make it opportunistic, not destiny-based in regards to thinking that this is already planned for you, because it's not, okay? It's up to you. All right, let's move on. Okay, so this one here is from It's Me. When things will improve for Canadians, on especially, and when we get rid of Carney. What do you see happening here in KK? So I'll let Breanne take care of this one here. Another political. Actually, I don't really get that many political questions on this channel too much, so I thank you guys for that. But I don't mind if the odd one comes up, so it's fine.
Alright, I know I did look into this a couple times, and okay, let's see. Well, let's look at the energy of 2026 moving forward. What's the probability of Carney exiting? It does look like we are getting that probability. I mean, I do think that that devil, again, with that devil, it is that they're trying to hang on with that parasitic energy, right? And a lot of things have to be still, you know, flowing to the surface for people to see. But my outcome is healing. Like, the outcome is really, really good, you guys. This is renewal, and this shows new leadership that has the possibility to come in as well. And I just think it's, you know, you guys try not to get so sucked into the political side, whether you're left, whether you're right. At the end of the day, just like tune into your heart, because the whole thing is they're trying to, again, back to the whole same thing, get people to be distracted, divided, because when you're worrying about being concerned over left versus right, you're not tuning into yourself. So to answer the question, though, I do think that Carney is on his way out here. I mean, how fast is that going to happen? The outcome is the star aspected by some fast energy, so I would hope that this does happen in 2026. But do you see that probability as well, Brad?
Well, let's take a look here. If we're looking at Carney and we're looking at the Canadian government and all that. No, he's going to cling on to dear life, right? He is going to cling on to dear life for his throne, right? Because this is something, he basically has been assigned a particular role, right? Now that role is actually very dual-sided, okay? There are things in that sense that he actually does want, but he's behaving like a character, right? This is a role that he's playing. It's an actor. You're seeing an actor on stage who doesn't want to let go of their role. It's the same thing with Trudeau when he was there as well too. He really was an actor, right? So he fit the part very well. And Carney is basically a businessman, right? It's kind of like I was making sure of Carney, the carnival, right? The old Carney that screws you around. But yeah, he's going to hold on for dear life, but I think he's only going to be able to hold on for so long. Some people may say, oh, is it true that he may have like a full term? It's hard to say, right? Because there's a 50% tug of trying to get him out of the picture, and there's a 50% tug of trying to keep him in. And it's a tug of war, so it really depends in regards to the ropes, right, that are holding in that way. And maybe one side breaks and he falls over to one side. So the feeling is that he's probably going to stick around for a bit longer, okay? And I know people don't like to hear that, but in that way, what he's doing is actually a very good thing, because it's helping Canadians to wake up. Right? It's helping Canadians to see a much more larger picture, because if none of this stuff happens, then no one's going to wake up, right? And I'm sorry to tell you guys, but this is a waking up decade. This is the decade of Great Awakening. You are going to see horrible things. You are going to see tragic things. You are going to hear news that is going to shock you. You are going to look at all of these things that are just going to lead to incredible shock and awe. And I'm sorry that that has to be said, but this is simply the way of the decade. The decade is meant here to wake you up out of your slumber. And in order for that to happen, huge tragedies need to take place. Because what people are going to start relying on is themselves. They're going to start working together. They're going to start unifying. This is why I say it's the year of revolution, right? Where you're getting lots of people on the streets. I mean, we had that right at the very late end of 2025, and it's still carrying on. That we have cities with hundreds of thousands of people. Again, look what happened to Italy. Look what's happening to Mexico right now too, with all those drug lords. So again, this is going to continue. There's going to be more of that. But again, revolution will come in many different forms. And it will represent the idea that we're seeing exposure of leaders that we thought they were okay guys, and then they show their true colors. It's the wolves in sheep's clothing that's basically being unzipped here, and you're seeing it. So again, a lot of these things are, again, 2025 is intense pertaining to it, but it was a 9-year that represents endings. This is a new beginning. This is a new start. And as a new start, there's going to be a lot of fire. There's going to be a lot of tragedy. There's going to be a lot of hurt. This is a volatile year, right? When you get into 2027, there's still fire, but it's going to be a little bit more contained. We'll talk more about 2027 later, but later on in future episodes. But right now, 2026 is all about the fire horse. It is knocking down establishment. It is taking establishment is going for a whirlwind. And we've just started the year. There's a lot more to look forward to throughout 2026. We're also going to be looking at a lot more extraterrestrial presence.
Yes.
It's as I talked about with Adronis, right, with a crop circle. A crop circle coming in between June and August, and the crop circle basically represents the peeling away of a veil, or again, representing that of planets aligning together with itself. Like worlds aligning in that sense. I wouldn't say planets, but worlds aligning and the dropping of a veil. When that crop circle comes, I will show that to everybody, okay? But that is already in the ethers. So that's coming between June and August in England. So again, this is letting us know that it's a demarcation, a veil, that the connection to extraterrestrial presence on the planet is going to become a lot more prevalent, that there will be a lot more people who will be able to connect with them mentally, okay? That is the demarcation that's coming, and the crop circle is already going to be presenting itself as that demarcation. Okay, so I'm looking forward to showing that to you guys when it comes. So there you have it. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see here. Got a lot of questions today, so guys, so thank you very much for that. Okay. Yogi Tarzan is just changing. Okay, well, see, I have another song on the beginning right now. It's called Me Flections, right? But yes, I'll bring back the Wisdom Transmission song. It's a catchy tune, right? Okay, let's go to some of the, so that's all for our donation-based questions at this time. Let's go on to some of the standard questions. How are we on time here? We got about 20 minutes left here. Okay, so this one here is from John. John says, "Hi Brad and Breanne, can Adronis tell us some information about what's happening underneath the island of Greenland? Is there anything else more than just ice?" Okay, so yeah, we can look into that. I'll bring Adronis in for that, and then you can follow up later if you want. All right, and we'll take a look and see. Let me just go ahead and switch back to this view. There we go. All right, I'll bring Adronis in. We'll get started. Here we go. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I'm Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you very much for your question in regards to the land that you term as Greenland. And if there is any particular form of presences there that may represent extraterrestrial or any other particular types of installations. Well, firstly, let's give you a little bit more of a deeper history of Greenland. Greenland was once connected to what you would know as your North American continent. All right, so if you were to take all of the, shall we say, separated areas of land further up north towards North America, and you were able to see all of those pieces come together, well, Greenland was one of those very large pieces. Greenland used to be connected directly to North America. And going back approximately 75,000 to 80,000 years, there were refugees, particularly up around the area of North America. Now, basically, these refugees were actually more cold-blooded humans, or cold-blooded humanoids. And they once had an ancient civilization going up into the northern areas of what you now call Canada. And that they would also inhabit a lot of the land that you would know as Greenland. However, this particular species, shall we say, wore out their welcome and left the Earth plane. Again, approximately going back 75,000 to 80,000 years. They did have the complexion of quite commonly of what you would know as the Inuit. But again, they had much more of a cold-blooded nature to themselves, and that they did actually live a lot more underground rather than upon the surface. But of course, this particular civilization does not exist there anymore. But if we're to look a little bit more into Greenland itself relating to installations, there are ancient bases underneath the land of Greenland. But it is much more central into the area of the landmass itself. It is very, very difficult to reach these areas because you would actually find subterranean mountain settlements. Again, from the previous civilization that we are talking about, but also other particular ancient civilizations that again are also human or humanoid in that particular nature, that would be much more stationed in the subterranes of the central mountains or central territories relating to Greenland itself. So again, looking at much more of the central hub of Greenland, yes, there were ancient installations. But we would say that those ancient installations are not currently active. They could be in the near future, but right now they are, as you would say, disabled and dismantled from a previous, shall we say, group of civilizations that again were working together much more for the nature of mining and resource work, specifically around the area of what you term as Greenland, that was once part of your North American continent. All right? We thank you for your question. Okay, there you have it.
Interesting. Well, it's interesting because the past energy, I do have like that star energy, the star family, or like a different extraterrestrial, a different race here as well. And it does look like there's a lot of resources and stuff as well with that King of Pentacles and that Knight of Swords. But I do see kind of activations underneath it. But like you said, I like when Adronis was saying there are these like bases, but they're blocked with mountains. Is that what you were saying? Because
They're underneath. They're underneath mountains.
Yeah. Okay. Because we have going through that civilization, but it is currently like blocked and not activated.
Yeah, exactly. It's inaccessible to humans.
Yeah, inaccessible. So yeah, very.
My feeling is I think the civilization was either taken out from like an earth change, a very severe cataclysm that may have happened a very long time ago, well before Younger Dryas.
Yeah.
But before that time, where there may have been a cataclysm and maybe they had to evacuate the planet or something like that. But they were refugees. They were not born here, right? They were basically visitors, and a lot of them were here on like kind of like mining duties and so forth.
Yeah, that's exactly what the tarot's speaking to me about.
Mining
so
and
really
resources
cool.
and all that. So.
Oh wow! But yeah, I mean the outcome does show a ten of cups from my perspective, with also my portal energy, and we have that activation, the Lyran energy. For me, this is my Lyran card.
You can look at this here too with the mining.
Yes, exactly. So yeah,
Perfect.
looks like there's some good energies in
Perfectly
the outcome.
in sync, huh? There
I
we go.
love that. That is so cool.
Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. All right, let's see here. So I'm just scrolling through the chat here, guys. Just give me a moment here. Okay, this one here is from Ginger. Just caught my eye here. I am so frustrated that with I am 80, and I need to know why I'm not able to feel why I'm here. And please, I asked before why the Intervention Council Galactica you spoke of, I'm not able to get here. I never spoke anything about a Council Galactica or about an Intervention Council Galactica. I'm not too sure in that sense about the question that you're trying to ask. Okay, so again, I noticed that you mentioned your age and able to fulfill why you are here. Okay, guys, do you think that it's going to be so cut and dry that one single sentence is going to tell you why you're here? You have to look into the reflection of your life about what you've done. You see, again, you're just basically letting go of the past and not being able to look at everything that's around you. Okay, it's not about one person giving you one sentence, say, oh, you're here to help others, or you're here to make a successful business, or you're here to get a big house, or you're here to travel, or you're here to have a wonderful partner and kids. None of those tell you who you are. Okay? None of those represent fulfillment. The nature of fulfillment is you actually being able to look at yourself and say, therefore I know who I am, right? And that doesn't come through words. That doesn't come through speeches. That doesn't come from somebody else trying to tell you who you are. That doesn't come from extraterrestrials. That doesn't come from councils. That doesn't come from the inner earth. It is one who is able to actually look at themselves, and I don't care your age. I don't care if you're 5 years old or if you're 95 years old, right? We all have our own points of realization. Realization comes to you through a one-way band. It is not like you're asking for realization, then it's going to come. It's going to come at the point. Does not matter if you're 5 or 95. Okay? This is not about age. That's a body thing. That's a body principle. It's to look into the soul and to realize that when you see the heart, you are seeing more of who you are, right? Brad, can you say that you know who you are? I can say who I am without saying it, right? It's about being in that center altogether. So no, I could never explain to you guys about who I am because words are not the medium for that. It's to look inside yourself and to know, right? It is simply to know. And that's why you can't rely on that information from another person. It has to come through you, regardless of age. Not about ETs, not about other people here, about yourself. How deeply are you willing to go in yourself? Screw the age. Just look at yourself. Look into your heart. See who you are. That's the time you need to give. Shut off the rest of the world until you find that, because that's what I had to do. Okay? Let's go ahead and move on. Okay. So there's a request here, Brad, could you please send a charge to my brother whose leg was amputated last week due to a vaccine injury? Okay. So yeah, we can send some charge there, and I'm glad that you said charge, so thank you for that. Okay, to your brother. So I didn't get which leg, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at that. So if anybody else wants to send some loving charge to Rince again, sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Rinsky, I'll call you Rinsky if that's okay. To their brother, then that's appreciated as well too. Okay, so we'll just do that now. Okay, there you go. There you have it. Thank you so much, Rinsky. Blessings to you and your brother. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go on. Someone says mono is the kissing disease. No, I'd say meningitis is. I don't want to believe that mono is. So it's whatever I say it is. So there you go. Okay, so let's go on here. This one here is from Claire. So again, guys, if you need a reading, it needs to be done by donation. Okay. But I'll read out your thing anyways. But again, if it's for a personal reading, it needs to be done by donation because that's what everybody else is doing. Okay. Can I please have a reading and prayer to complete my judgment collection in Israel? Everything was in place, and now the war. I need this cycle to be completed. I know you do. I know a lot of people do. I'm sorry, but I can't give that to you. Okay. You cannot allow another person to feel like they are responsible for fulfilling what you are here to fulfill yourself. Okay? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to pray for you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to do that for you. Okay? Because that is me getting involved with somebody else's business that is not my business. Not only that, there is only one thing that you ever need to pray to, and that's consciousness. Okay? Give your request to consciousness. Give your request to God. Give your request to the Mother, the Father, the Source. That is where it belongs, not through another person. Okay? It's even as Jesus would say in the Bible, say, I'm not going to pray for you. Right? I'm not going to pray for you. Why? Was Jesus being a jerk? No. Jesus was saying, why are you coming to me when I by myself can do nothing? Why are you not going to the Father? Why are you not going to consciousness? Because it is consciousness that makes all things. That is where your prayer needs to go. That is where your intention to go. So, as somebody who cannot do anything, I refuse to pray for you. Because it's not about me. It's about consciousness. Consciousness is where your prayers need to be. Okay? So there you have it. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I think we got another donation here. Let's see. Okay, we got one from Peggy, but I don't think I see Peggy's.
Yeah, I was trying to look. I don't see it.
Okay, so Peggy, I got your donation, but so guys, please make sure you're putting your comment in with it, because otherwise I gotta kind of like chase around the chat and find out where your comment is. So Peggy, I got your donation. If you're still here, okay, feel free just to place your comment or question afterwards, since you've donated already. Okay, and we'll try and come back to you. Okay, so this one here is from Robbie Burns. Brad, when something resonates in a reading, what's actually happening there? Are we aligning with truth or recognizing ourselves in the message? Okay, well that's a very good question. That's a tough one to answer as well too, because it's kind of like you're going into the person and seeing exactly why they resonate. So for example, if I'm sitting here and I'm listening to someone talk, and all of a sudden they say something and it moves me, okay? Well, that could be like a type of resonance. Now, it could also be the opposite. If a person is sitting here talking and I'm like, ugh, I'm shuddering. Well, that's in that sense like a resonance, but a resonance of disagreement, right? It's kind of like an incoherency. So you can have like a coherent resonance and an incoherent resonance. A resonance itself can also come through belief, okay? And it does not mean that it's also coming through truth. What that means is that when you have a particular belief that you shine your light upon so much, and all of a sudden maybe you meet a complete and total stranger and they have the exact same belief, you feel a very loving connection here. And I got the lights flickering.
Like, the lights are flickering.
Right. So this is some agreement here. It's coming on with resonance. So basically, again, if you have that belief and that belief together is enshrining together the two of you, you can feel a mutual resonance there. Doesn't mean it's the truth. It just means it's a belief, because that's what we call sympathetic resonance. Okay. When we go into the nature of actually starting to clear ourselves, and it's like we're going into the supreme imagination, the supreme consciousness, right? And we feel that presence there. We feel a resonance there. And that's like the supreme resonance of truth. That's a beautiful thing, okay? So again, resonance can come in many different forms, right? So when I resonate with somebody, it just means that what I'm holding on to, that what I know to be right, is simpatico with that person. It's sympathetic resonance. If a tuning fork is vibrating like this, now I'm vibrating in resonance together with it. But if a tuning fork is vibrating like this, then I basically just want to withdraw away, and that becomes an incoherent resonance. Okay? So again, somebody may say something very scary, right? Very, very intimidating. It's like, okay, I'm just going to kind of walk away now, right? So that is what we would refer to as an incoherent resonance. But again, when somebody says something and you're vibrating in resonance together with it, regardless of the context, yeah, there's sympathetic resonance that happens there. So we're really just looking at sympathetic resonance altogether. So there you have it. Okay, anything you want to add on that?
Oh, I think that was a perfect synchronicity, because as you were reading that, when you were talking about connecting to the soul and like praying to the soul, I was really resonating with what you were saying. So yeah. I love how that was a cool synchronicity.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Peggy did message.
Okay, Peggy got it back. So I think we're going to end with Peggy's question here. This will be the last question for today. So Peggy says, I have a rash on the outside of both of my legs that I get every couple of months. Also have had them on my neck. Wondering if it's a form of detox. Well, the answer would be both yes and no. When a rash comes onto your body, it's because your lymphatic system is in disarray. Okay, so Peggy, here's what I would suggest that you work with. Okay, I'd like you to get what's known as Cleaver's herb. Okay, Cleaver's herb is really, really good for cleaning out the lymphatic system. It's very good for a lymphatic flush. You could also work with lemon balm. Okay, lemon balm is also quite good for that. Lemon balm can also help with the lymphatic system, just to flush out a lot of that. I know that Dr. Sebi had some reservations about lemon balm, but from my experiences, it's not too bad, right? So you could work with lemon balm. Licorice root is also very good for you to work with. So licorice root, lemon balm, and also working together with cleaver's herb. Okay, so cleaver's herb, you can make that into a tea. Now, it can come in supplements. It can come into dried powder as well too, and you can make that into a tea, or you could put that into like a slow cooker. Okay, so you basically just put some water. Maybe put 2 tablespoons of cleaver's herb in there, and maybe have about I'd say maybe about 4 cups of water. I'd say for every 2 cups of water, have 1 tablespoon of cleaver's herb. Okay, so maybe have 2 tablespoons of cleaver's herb with 4 cups of water in a slow cooker. Okay, and then basically slow cook it for about 8 hours. This creates what we know as we can basically call it a decoction. Okay, and a decoction is also very strong, specifically on alkaline and terrain. So you can work with that, and that can eventually help to get the rash out of there. But the only reason why the rash is there is because it's inflammation that's coming into the area, the higher layers of the skin. Okay, so it's moving into much more of the dermal layers of the skin, the epidermis. Okay, so basically what's happening is that there is a lot of inflammation, toxicity that's there, and the body can't really purge it out, so it's basically moving itself into the skin to basically try to be dealt with. That rash itself is also the body trying to fight it. Okay, so again, as you start working with cleaver's herb or lemon balm or licorice root, these can also help you as well too. Okay, so rash outside the legs, that would be my recommendation, is just working together with those alkalines. Now there may also be something too with a particular type of cream. I have to research that. I don't have the exact cream on mind with that, but what I would suggest is working together with cleaver's herb. That would probably be your best thing, because that cleans out the lymphatic system, and as your lymphatic system cleans out, that starts to ease up a lot of those rashes that you're getting. Okay, what I'll also do finally is I'll just send you some healing, do some charge into the area of both the legs for you now. Okay, we'll do that now, and then I'll bring in Breanne in, she can give you some comments too. Okay, here we go. Okay, so all of that charge has been sent to your legs. Okay, Breanne, go ahead.
Well, I love that you had the actual herbs, because when I seen the Empress, I'm like, it's Spirit's really guiding you towards working with Mother Earth, with Gaia, looking at the actual herbs as well. I do think there is a need to be consistent with this. I don't think it's going to take just one time, because the Hierophant is moving forward. But yeah, also staying, seems like a basic message, but staying hydrated, because I feel like there's some dehydration happening with the 7 of Cups there.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, work with the herbs. It feels like that is the correct direction from what I can see as well.
Okay, excellent. All right, everybody, so we're going to wrap up for today. So again, please feel free to check out Breanne's website, ratingswithbreanne.com. It is going to be updated here very soon today as well too. And Breanne, thank you for being here today. So again, guys, I'll be back here this Friday. Okay, so there's a special episode taking place this Friday. It is going to be for an Adronis transmission. Okay, Adronis has a special transmission that he's going to give this Friday. So again, feel free to tune in. It's going to be really exciting. I don't even know what that is, but I know it's going to be a really big thing. He likes to keep me in surprise almost the last minute. But anyways, we'll have a special Adronis transmission on Friday with more Q&A as well too. So tune in to the Friday transmission. Breanne, thank you for being here. Again, check out our website, ratingswithbreanne.com. Thank you guys, and I'll talk to you all on Friday. Take care. Blessings to you all. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Bye for now.